Alright guys, in this video I'm going to be showing you how to do Mr. Johnson's new and improved method for doing awesome cutouts. This is a great method for when we're shooting on a white background like we are in this photograph right here. So let's go ahead and get started. If you've already loaded up your action, like I'm about to show you how to do, you can skip this step. But if not, let's start and show you exactly how to do all this whole thing. So let's start by going up here to the top of Photoshop. We're going to go to Window, Actions, or you can just press Alt F9 to get that to show up. Click on that, and here's our Actions panel. You're going to come up here, click on these little hamburger menu button in the top right-hand corner. Click on that, and we want to load actions. And that'll pop up, and this puts us in a weird box. Let's just ignore that. Let's go straight to the yearbook folder. That's where all the good stuff is. And if we scroll down, we'll see cutout.atn. That's the file we're looking for. Let's go and click on load on that. You can see we now have an action right here called cutout prep. This action does a lot of the little steps for you. So you're basically just going to load this up, and then you'll just go ahead and click on this play button. So make sure you click right here on cutout prep, and then press play, and you're going to see some things happen here. And you're going to end up with this levels box popping up. And basically what you want to do is you want to kind of zoom in on your person so you can kind of really see his hair and stuff like that. And we're going to move these around. They've already been moved a little bit, but kind of look and see. You don't want to move the black one in so far that his hair starts to kind of disappear. If we look closely, let me zoom in even a little bit more. And if I bring this in, watch the fringes of his hair. We want to make sure that we're not getting lost there. See, the farther I bring that in, the more his hair kind of all lumps together, and that's not cool. I'm going to bring that back. I don't want his hair to get too lumpy, but I do want to make sure my edges are nice and dark just like this. So I'm going to kind of do that, and then I want his face also to go pretty dark, so I'm going to move this slider around and try to get that face to go nice and dark. Again, keeping an eye on his hair. Don't let his hair get too dark either. So kind of just move that in and out. Try to find just the sweet spot in between. If his face doesn't go pure dark, that's okay, because we can fix that later. And then we'll bring this white one in. It's in quite a bit already, but basically we just want to make sure the background is as white as can be. We want as much contrast between his hair and the background as possible. So then once we're done with that, we're just going to go ahead and press OK. Okay, at this point, this stop menu is going to show up right here. You're just going to go ahead and click on stop right there. That's basically we're stopping the action halfway through to kind of do some stuff here to kind of clean it up. What we want to do now is here's the rest of our action. Let's go over and look at our layers panel. We've got a layer and a layer mask. We want to make sure the layer mask is selected. And we are on our brush tool, and our foreground color is white. The action should have done all of that for you, but just double check to make sure. And then we want to be using a hard edge brush. I'm going to raise my hardness up to 100. I got this to show up by right-clicking. And then this is about the right size, maybe a little bit bigger. But basically, we just want to go through, and anything that's not white, we're going to paint white. And don't worry about being super, getting that right there. So come down in here. And basically just all this stuff down here, we just need to get all that. Anything that's not white, you see the edge of his sweatshirt. And then right here, I'm going to zoom out a little bit to get that to show up a little bit better so I can see a little bit more. And let's just get all this white. I'm going to make my brush even bigger. Whoa, maybe a little too big. There you go. Let's scroll down a little bit more. And then we can zoom in and get right here along the edge of his pants. And that's probably going to get cut out when it gets put into the yearbook, so I don't need to be too precise. And that looks pretty good. Now we do need to come up here, and we do need to spend a little time. If we weren't able to get his whole face to get selected here, we do need to come in and spend a little time painting this white. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to pause the video while I come in and paint this up right here. I'm going to get all this white all the way through here, and we'll pick it up when I'm... Alright, let's finish this thing off. I've painted him in all white. You can see there's some other white out here. I'm not going to worry about any of this stuff. That's all going to get cropped out by the time we're done. As long as everything around him is pretty much black and everything inside of him is white, we're going to be just fine. So we're set. Let's come back here into our action. You don't need to click out here at all. All you're going to do is come down here and click play to finish this thing off. You can see Photoshop went in and did a bunch of things. It put a blue background behind it so we can see what our cutout's going to look like. And it added this new weird looking layer, and it selected the clone stamp for us. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take our clone stamp, and you see this white edge still that's around everything? Let me show you how easy it is to fix that with the clone stamp. First of all, grab my clone stamp. It's already selected. Sorry, don't even worry about grabbing it. Make sure we're using a softer edge, so I'll set my hardness down to 0. Size should be a little bit, a little bit larger, so that's about the right size. And then up here you want to change where it says sample. Make sure you're on current and below. That's super important. This won't work if you don't do that. And then I'm just going to come in and I'm going to go around these edges of his hair where it's white. I'm just going to sample on his hair, and I do that by holding down the Alt key. I'm going to hold down Alt and click right there, and I'm just going to come in and start painting around the edges of his hair just like that. You can see Photoshop is just darkening that up. It's getting rid of that white fringe. There's a couple other things going on behind the scenes here that the action did for us that you don't really know about, and that's okay. So over here I'm going to sample up here, but come down and just get right along the edge of his hair there. Trying to sample in the lighter colored area just because his hair is a little bit lighter colored down there. I actually got a little bit of his face there, so I'm going to Control Alt Z that. Come over here and do the same thing over here on the other side. Just get right in there. Right there, we kind of missed a spot. So there you go. That went ahead and darkened down the edges of his hair for us. And then we can go around the rest and we can see, does the edge of his sweatshirt need it? Maybe a little bit. I'm going to make my stamp a little bit smaller. And I'll just start sampling right along the edge of his sweatshirt. Right here, there's a little bit of a crease, so let's try to preserve that. Easy. Just changing up my sample point every once in a while. Oops, see, that didn't quite work out, so we'll just fix that. And I'll zoom out a little bit so I can see a little bit more. And I'm just going to keep going all the way around the edge. Now I'm down here on his arm, and there is a little bit of a white line there, so I'm going to just hold down Alt and just come in here and whoop, just get a little sample point, and just like that. That's all fixed up real easy. And then same thing over here, just kind of go around and look and see. Not much of a white fringe over here. Not really much I need to do. And I feel like this looks pretty good. So it's ready to be cropped and then saved. So I'm going to grab my crop tool. And you want the ratio and everything. You want this to just be blank. So click on this, choose ratio. If there's any numbers in here, just hit clear. Then I'm going to come out here and I'm just going to click and drag around kind of what I want to keep, which is probably right about there. I don't even need that much space above his head, so click on that, press enter, and then I need to turn off the blue. So I'm going to come over to my layer 1, get rid of that part, and then I'm going to come up here and go to File, Save. And if you know the name, you'll put his name in, or you'll just put in Cutout of Maroon Sweatshirt, because I don't know this guy's name. And then make sure you save it as a Photoshop file and hit Save. Hit OK if you see this box, and you are good to go.